All right. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. I hope you're doing well today. Today we are playing or building a Magic the Gathering commander deck. Um, Someone graciously chose an Eldrazi horror creature, which is basically based off of the Eldritch horror genre in forgetting their name. It's a pretty much an Eldritch horror type creature. Um, so we'll be doing that. For those of you who do not know who I am, I'm Chrono the Shadow Fox. I play a lot of RPGs, adventure games, and indie games, and stuff like that. Um, I also do Magic the Gathering streams, which is today. Today I build or on Mondays I build a Magic the Gathering commander deck, which basically is a 100 card deck of 99 one single um 99 single cards, one of each card minus the lands. There's the basic lands, you can have as many as you want, um and then one commander, which is your lead creature that you base your deck around. um with that, you end up playing just like a normal TCG game. And most of the time, people play four players. It's more fun that way. Playing one player, it's or one against one. It's fun if you have a deck built around doing that. But most decks are built around a pod of four players. Um, so yeah, today we'll do that. If you're interested, definitely check out all of my links in my link tree. I've got all like my X, my Twitter, all of that on there. Uh, Excuse me. Um, I've got a merch store in there, so if you're wanting to check out any of my merch, definitely do so. It's under Fourth Wall in Linktree. Um, and quite a bit of other things in there. So if you're interested, definitely check out my link tree. I've got also got my Discord in there. So yeah, definitely check that out. If you're interested in buying any like 3D printed models, um, you can do so as well through there in Shadowforge. Just post a picture of what you'd like, and I'll work with you on getting everything the way you want it. I do. I'll give you all the information of what I can and cannot do, and the prices and everything like that once we get everything squared away. Um, Thanks, Caitlin, for liking the live and all that. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, now I'm not on mute. Thank you for letting me know that. Sorry for that. All right, let's see. Um, so yeah, today we are building Ulalek used Atrocity in Magic the Gathering. Um, and then see, we'll go ahead and open that part right here up. Uh, Move that down. Okay. Hmm. Create deck. Now, the commander is Ulalek, used Atrocity. He cost 5 colorless mana. That's that symbol up here in the corner. These are all colorless mana. You can only spend colorless mana to use it. You can't spend any kind of other mana to spend on that. Now, if it does say a number, then you can use any kind of mana to tap it or to cast it, or you can spend one of each color to cast him. That's what the half symbol means. And it's got devoid, which this card has no color. Whenever you cast an Eldrazi spell, you may pay 2 colorless. If you do, copy all spells you control. Then copy all other activated and triggered abilities you control. You may choose new targets for the copies. It's a 2/5, 2 attack, 5 defense creature. I am surprised at how much this card is right now. Normally, Eldrazi's are very expensive cards to buy. But yes, we can work on that. Let's see. Close that. What we normally need to do now is do the mana base, which we'll start looking for all 5 colored lands. That would be and the best lands in the game. So that's Badlands. Badlands is a land from the original 3 sets. You can tap it for either a red or a black. Add mana, counts as both mountain and swamp, and is affected by summoning sickness that affects either. If a spell destroys one, okay, it basically just taps for a land. And it counts as either a mountain or a swamp. You've got Tropical Volcano, or Tropical Island, which that one taps for a blue or green. Volcanic Island, which I think that's red and blue. Okay. Savannah, which is I think green and white. Savannah, yes, green and white. All right. Um, let's see. Savannah, Badlands, Bayou, which is black green. Um, Bayou. Let's see. Okay, red, uh, red, black, black, green, green, white, blue, green, red, blue. I know I'm missing some, but for now we'll go ahead and go with Cascade Bluffs, Rugged Prairie, um, Wooded Bastion, the go with the Verge lands now. I can't remember anything about the Verge. Advanced option. Quick add. And hold on, you know what I can do? Quick, let's pull it up over here. Um, Mainlands, no. Lands. There we go. Okay. Um, River Pyre, Verge. Leechbone Purge, Verge. Sunbillow Verge. Blaze Fire Verge. Flood Farm Verge. Bloom Lake Verge. Bushwood Verge. Thornspire. Wood. Okay. And Willow Rush. Willow. So Pathway. Pathway lands. Fastlands. Where are Urborg. Yawgmoth. Avamaya. Cradle of Growth. That makes your lands count as both swamps and forests, in addition to what they tap for. Um, or best lands game. Eastland. Vale lands, no. Triomes, Docklands. Original lands. There we go. Underground Sea. Taiga. Tundra. Badland Plateau. Bayou. Okay. Got those. Fetch lands, no. The only reason why you would ever play fetch lands, in my opinion, are for landfall decks. I think fetch lands are kind of useless otherwise. Um, okay. So, all right, Mystic Gate. Um, Sunken Ruins. Ravencarns. Firelit Thicket. Deaded Heath. Twilight Mire. Flooded Grove. So, I believe. Hmm. Got 31 lands. We'll go 36 because it's a 5-color deck. Um, let's see. All right. Go with some other classics here. Hmm. Ugin, yes. Since we are playing Eldrazi, we do need Eye of Ugin. Hmm. Go. Okay, now Mystic Sanctuary. That's a good no. Yeah. Mystic Sanctuary. Uh, that we have Cavern of Souls. 34 lands. Hmm. Okay. I think that should be it for that. So we can go ahead and go with um all right, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet. Since we're doing a 5-color deck, which is very hard to do in my opinion, I have a hard time building a full 5-color deck. We need a lot of good mana producers on top of the lands. Um, Chromatic Lantern, that helps fix your mana base. Herald's Horn, I think. Let's see. Herald's Horn. Creatures of the chosen type cost 1 less. At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it in your hand. That's a good one. Okay, we could do that. Um, so now Eldrazi creatures. Well, we'll focus on spells and stuff first before we do Eldrazi. So, um, token generators. So we have Awakening Zone. Have From Beyond. I can't spell today. Got an ad. A spawning bed. Um, a spawning bed. That's Echo Storm. You cast a spell, copy it for each time you've cast your commander from the command zone this game. You may choose new. Okay, create a token copy. A token that's a copy of target artifact. Right of replication. Okay. Swarm intelligence. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you may copy that spell and choose new copies. Double vision. No, not double vision. Removal. All is dust. A cyclonic rift. Nope. Um. Oh, hey, Caitlin. Thanks for the raid. All right. Let's give you give you a shout out. Oh, it's fun. I'm just building Ulalek right now. I'll keep you tabbed like usual. Okay. Um, yeah, right now we are building a Eldrazi commander for Magic, and Ulalek is the commander. Which, whenever you cast an Eldrazi spell, you may pay 2 colorless. If you do, copy all spells you control, then copy all activated and triggered abilities you control. You may choose new targets for the copies. Um, Also, for those of you who do not know me, I'm Chrono the Shadow Fox. I play a lot of RPG style games, indie games, adventure games, and on Mondays I do a Magic the Gathering stream where I build a commander deck of your choosing. And someone chose Ulalek today, so we're working on building that. Um, if you need to raid and run, Caitlin, I completely understand. Um, Take care of yourself, get some water, get some food, and help yourself do all that. Let's see. So we've got game enders. I'm gonna be here. Okay, yeah, definitely. Let's see. Rise of the Eldrazi. Um, Working on all the cards that I can remember that I need. Okay, destroy target permanent. Target player draws 4 cards. Take an extra turn after this one. If we can make these that spell cost less, that's a very big, expensive card. Which we have. Where is it? Um, I have Ugin, which makes colorless Eldrazi spells. Which that doesn't count as an Eldrazi spell. That just is a colorless spell. Um, we've got to find a way to make that cost less. Uh, let's see. On top of that, we have Expropriate. So those are our 2 big finishers. Expropriate costs 9, and it's starting with you. Each player votes for the time, or for time or money. For each time vote, take an extra turn after this one. For each money vote, choose a permanent owned by the voter and gain control of it. Exile Expropriate. All its dust would destroy, or each player sacrifices all permanents they control that are one or more colors. Echo Storm, create a token that's a copy of target artifact, and you cast a spell, copy it for each time you cast your commander from the command zone this game. Right of replication, it's create a token that's a copy of target creature. If I've kicked that spell, which is that uh, that 5 symbol right there, you can make 5 token copies of something. Got all the land base right now, all the best lands to put in the game. Cyclonic Rift, which you always pay it for its overload cost of 7. Return all non-land permanents you don't control to its owner's hand. Swarm Intelligence, when you cast an instant or sorcery spell, you may copy that spell and choose new targets for the copy. From Beyond, at the beginning of your upkeep, you're going to be putting an Eldrazi spawn creature token onto the battlefield. With Sacrifice this, add 1 mana. So you're going to be building up enough of these to spend on these 2 right here. Let's see. I think we should add 2 more lands, which would be Command Zone or Command Tower, which adds 1 color of any color in your commander's cost, and Reflecting Pool. Which Reflecting Pool states add 1 mana of any type that a land you control could produce. So now we have enough lands that we can do something in a 5-color deck. Now we'll go and EDH Rec has a lot of good recommendations of what to put in your deck and different ways to build a deck as well. So we'll go with Ulalek, build the commander. Let's see. Eldrazi Temple. I do need to add Eldrazi Temple. We can take out Reflecting Pool and add Eldrazi Temple. Eldrazi Temple. Eldrazi Temple, when you tap it, you can add a colorless mana, or tap and add 2 colorless mana, spend this only to cast colorless Eldrazi spells, or activate abilities of colorless Eldrazi. So we have that. Forsaken Monument is a good one. Let's see. Colorless creatures you control get +2/+2. And whenever you tap a permanent for a colorless, add an additional one. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, you gain 2 life. So that's actually pretty good. That let's see. Forsaken Monument. Echoes of Eternity. All right, Echoes of Eternity states, if a triggered ability of a colorless spell you control or another colorless permanent you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, copy it. You may choose new targets for the copy. That also goes really well with Ulalek's ability, meaning that it triggers again on top of that. So that works. Okay, Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. That's a good colorless land, so we'll take out Command Tower. Shrine of the Forsaken Gods. Add a colorless mana or add 2 colorless mana. Spend this only to cast colorless spells. Activate only if you control 7 or more lands. So that's good if you have 7 or more lands. Let's see. Whenever you cast a colorless spell, create a colorless Eldrazi spawn token. Whenever another colorless creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals a glaring Fleshraker, Deals 1 damage to each opponent. So yeah, we could do that one. That's a creature. Ugin, the Ineffable. That makes your colorless spells cost less. 2 less, in fact. Exile add a loyalty counter, which is these right here. It comes in with 4. Exile the top card of your library face down. Look at it. Create a 2/2 colorless spirit creature token. When this token leaves the battlefield, put the exiled card into your hand. You can subtract 3 loyalty counters, which is these. Destroy target permanent that's 1 or more colors. All right, so Eldritch Immunity. Target creature you control gains protection from each color until end of turn. Then you can pay its overload cost for 4 and a colorless, and that makes all your creatures you control protection from each color. So that's a good one. All right. So Eldritch Immunity. Kindred spell. Sire of Stagnation. Whenever a land enters the battlefield under an opponent's control, that player exiles the top 2 cards of his or her library and you draw 2 cards. I'm going to steer clear of the mill thing. I see your hydrate, Caitlin. I'm going to go ahead and get some water now. Okay. A spawn bed protector. Good. um, let's see. Spawn bed protector at the beginning of your end step. Return up to 1 target Eldrazi card from your graveyard. Your hand, create 2 1/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn tokens. A good one. Spawn bed protector. Costs a lot, but we can work with it. All right. Snapping Voidcraw. Tap it to add 2 colorless, or tap 3 and a colorless and tap it and draw a card. So Snapping Voidcraw. He is Taskmaster. When you cast a spell for each opponent, gain control of up to 1 target creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures. They gain Trample, Haste, and Annihilator 1 until end of turn. Annihilator 1 means that when you attack someone, the first thing that they have to do is sacrifice a permanent. And it's sacrifice 1 permanent. So then if you have more, like Annihilator 2 or something, then they have to sacrifice 2 permanents and so on and so forth. Let's see. Hideous, Taskmaster. Artisan of Kozilek. Whenever you cast this spell, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. And it's got Annihilator 2. Artisan Kozilek. Right. Okay. I really need Eldrazi that costs less than 5, but it's very, very hard. Colorless spells you cast with mana value 7 or greater cost 1 less. Other colorless creatures you control get +1/+1. Okay, that works. All right. It that heralds the end. Kozilek's Unsealing. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 4, 5, or 6, create 2/0/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature tokens with sacrifice this creature, add a colorless mana. When you cast a creature spell with mana value 7 or greater, draw 3 cards. All right. Kozilek's and Sealing. Oblivion Sour. When you cast this spell, target opponent exiles the top 4 cards of their library. Then you may put any number of land cards that player owns from exile onto the battlefield under your control. Again, we're trying to avoid mill. Let's see, Benthic Anomaly. When you cast this spell for each opponent, choose a creature that player controls. Create a token that's a copy of one of those creatures, except the power is equal to the total power of those creatures. Its toughness is equal to the toughness of the creatures, and its colorless Eldrazi creature. Caitlin, thanks for sharing the live and all the likes for me. I appreciate that. So Benthic Anomaly. Mystic Forge. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast artifact spells and colorless spells from the top of your library. Tap, pay 1, exile the top card of your library. Okay. Hate when the Windows does that. Let's see. Mystic Forge. I really wish I could get rid of that bar because I don't use it. All right, game changers. Ristic Study. Smothering Tithe. Demonic Tutor. Vampiric Tutor. Worldly Tutor. Yes, Ancient Tomb. Okay, yeah. Worldly Tutor, Ancient Tomb. With Ancient Tomb in there, I've got to get rid of one other land because there are 37 lands I want to keep it at 36. So actually, we can go ahead and get rid of Urborg and Yavimaya because most of these are colorless anyway. And we'll add Command Tower to the lands. All right. Let's see. We've got Cyclonic Rift, Vampiric Tutor, Teferi's Protection. All right, so right off the bat, we have a total of 69 cards in the deck. Now we need a lot more creatures. And a lot more low-cost creatures. So let's see. What can we get? What I can do is add that there. So let's see. We have. I should have done this at the beginning to show you guys what was on there. Oh, Herald of Kozilek, good one right there. That one makes your colorless spells cost 1 less. So that Zoodledock will help a lot though with the Cascade ability twice. So Herald of Kozilek, we'll go ahead and do that. Is this bracket 4? We're doing the best cards in the game that we can put in a deck. Yes, the One Ring. One Ring. Basically, whenever I build decks like this, I build it to its best ability. That's why I have the best lands in the game in here, like uh, the original lands, the Verge lands, the filter lands, things like that that help with a lot of mana fixing. Um, let's see. Now I can, if anyone ever wants to me to build another deck, they can tell me what bracket they want to do, and we can work from there. And when if you want to request a deck to build on Mondays, you can go to my Discord, and in the Shadow Magic area, there's a suggestion for commanders. So you can post a picture of what you'd like done for the next Magic stream, and then we can do that from there. Okay. All right. So let's see. When this leaves the battlefield, create. Okay, no, we want something that's constant. Um, looking for cards that cost less for now, and then we'll put game enders in there later. Um, a Eldrazi Displacer is pretty good. Exile target creature, then return it. But we've got to find a good card to do that with. So, uh, mutated cultist. When you cast this spell, remove all counters from up to one target permanent or opponent. The next spell you cast this turn costs one less for each counter removed this way. Ooh, that actually goes really well with a nice land called Dark Depths. Let's see. With Dark Depths, when it comes into play, it comes into play with 10 ice counters on it. You pay 3 and remove an ice counter from it. When Dark Depths has no ice counters, you get a a legendary creature named Merit Lage. That's a 2020 black avatar creature token that's indestructible and has flying. So that right there, Mutated Cultist, is actually really good, and you can make something cost 10 less. Um, so Mutated Cultist, definitely a good card to put in there, and we'll take out Command Tower. Um, so you prefer putting powerful cards over synergy? It depends on the synergy. Um, I'm working on trying to because this is the start of it. Um, for now, I'm working on trying to do a balance of synergy and powerful cards. That's why I'm looking for a lot of like low cost creatures right now. Um, and with each creature that's low cost, then after that we can work on putting the powerhouses in there. Um, let's see. Hmm. File Redeemer. When you cast it, you may pay one colorless. If you do, put a colorless Eldrazi Scion token onto the battlefield for each non-token creature that died under your control this turn. Those tokens have sack this creature, add colorless mana to your mana pool. And the good thing, the thing I would like to do with the low cost creatures is have the ability to sacrifice them for bigger payout. And File Redeemer is pretty good. I just got to have more creatures that. I always try to beat power with synergy in casual. I try to balance a little. Like, of course, you're going to need some kind of power to win the game, along with strategy. That's why certain things in here, like Rise of the Eldrazi, destroy target permanent, player draws 4 cards, take an extra turn after this one, and expropriate, which either you gain control of something from each player or you take an extra turn. Um, and then all is dust, things like that. Um, but I do like to add a little bit of synergy with the deck just to make it run well. Um, let's see. So, um, and uh, Thief of Existence. When you cast the spell, exile up to one target non-creature, non-land permanent an opponent controls with mana value 4 or less. If you do, Thief of Existence gains when this creature leaves the battlefield. Target opponent draws a card. Uh, that one's no, not what I'm looking for. All right. When Ulamog's Nullifier enters the battlefield, you may put 2 cards from an opponent's own, or 2 cards of your opponent's. I can't read today. Enters the battlefield, you may put 2 cards your opponent's own from exile into their owner's graveyard. If you do, counter target spell. Uh, Exile this card from your opening hand. If you do, at the beginning of your first upkeep, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may put one of those cards back on the top. Hey, Dreamers, how are you? Let's see. What I do need to do is give Aku a shout out. Oh, um, I think Dreamers took care of it for me. Do okay. Tired, but okay. Yeah, Dreamers took care of it for me. Um, yeah, I understand. I'm tired myself. I didn't get to bed till about maybe 12. I got home pretty late to do because I had to do grocery shopping and stuff. Um, but I'm doing okay. I'm uh let's see, working on your Eldritch Horror Commander right now. Um, let's see. So we have File Redeemer. When you cast it, you may pay a colorless. If you do, put a 1/1 Scion for each non-token creature that died under your control this turn. That doesn't have a lot of payout due to its only being done when you cast it. I want something that's constant. Um, you may cast colorless spells and artifact spells as though they had flash. Whenever you cast a spell, if the amount of mana spent to cast that spell is greater than Liberator Urza's Battlethopter's power, put a 1/1 counter on Liberator. We could do, yeah, we could put Liberator in there. Uh, Liberator. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion creature token onto the battlefield. Sifter of Skulls is okay. That gives you more ad break. Okay, there's an ad. Beginning of your combat on your turn, target creature you control gains haste and +X+0, where X is the number of Eldrazi you control. Let's see. When you cast the spell, remove all counters. Okay, Mutated Cultist was good. When angelic aberration enters the battlefield, sack any number of creatures, each with base power or toughness 1 or less. Create that many 4/4 Eldrazi angel creature tokens with flying and vigilance. Angelic aberration. All right. Um, Whenever Ultima attacks, put a blight counter on target non-land or target land. For as long as that land has a blight counter on it, it loses all land types and abilities and has colorless. Whenever you tap a land for colorless, add an additional. Ultima's pretty good. Okay. All right. Why are these not um, going down the list? Okay. So Ultima, Origin of Oblivion, yes. The hmm. You seem like a thoughtful deck builder. If you want to look at my bracket 3 deck, and I'll challenge you to give me one suggestion that you think I should cut and add. All right, I could do that. Let's see, Azlask, or another colorless creature you control dies, you get an experience counter. Creatures you control get plus X until end of turn, where X is the number of experience counters you have. Scions and spawns you control gain indestructible and annihilator 1. That actually works real well with your scions and spawns. Azlask. And it's 3 mana, so that helps. Roaming Throne, that's another good one. How many creatures do we have? 13? Okay. Roaming Throne. All right. So that helps a little bit too. When you cast a spell, create 2 colorless Eldrazi spawn creature tokens. Whenever you sacrifice another Eldrazi, put a 1/1 counter on Writhing Chrysalis. And it costs 4, so that's a good one for there. All right. Writhing Chrysalis. Let's see. Cast this, gain 1 life for each colorless permanent you control. Hexproof from each color. Annihilator 2. We'll work on that one, see if that actually would be a good idea. Do we have any ETB triggers so far in here? There he is, yo. Hey, Midnight, how are you? Just building a commander deck right now, working on a Ulalek fused Atrocity. Can I post Moxfield list? Yes, I think you can. Let's see. Do I have a way to post lists on here? If not, you can post it in my Discord under Magic. What's happening, brother? Hell yes. I'm doing good. How are you doing? I'm doing good. Let's see. Moxfield. Red and colorless storm. I always love looking at people's deck lists too. It's really good. Ooh. So Harrogast is your commander. Tags are set, by the way. Let's see. Emerge 6. You may cast this spell by sacrificing a creature and paying the emerge cost, reduced by that creature's mana value. When you cast, let's see, group types and tags on the top. Each creature spell you cast has emerge. The emerge cost is equal to its mana cost. Sacrificing a creature and paying the emerge cost. So you're using the emerge cost to sacrifice creatures, which means if you sacrifice, let's see, you have, oh, I see you have impact tremors in here. That's good. Let's see, gate instigator or instigator offspring. You may pay an additional 2 as you cast the spell. If you do, when this creature enters, create a 1/1 token copy of it. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature deals 1 damage to each opponent. I need to start putting that in my any deck that I put impact tremors in. That's a pretty good card for 2 mana. The emerge to cheat on mana and sack ETB like 10 creatures in 1 turn. Okay, trample, and that can be a land. Um, I feel like there's a better card you can put with this card because it costs 6 mana. Yes, it can be a land, but I feel like that would be a wasted slot if you put anything in there like that. Like there's got to be some other better card to put in than a Comb Warrior. Yes, it's a 4/5 for 6 mana, but it doesn't really have any payoff for its ability. Anger, on the other hand, is good. I like that you have anger in there because that gives all your creatures haste. Um, let's see. The Akum is mostly so I don't get stuck on lands when storming off, and turn 1 plays are mostly mostly 1 tap lands. Speaking of which, let me see your land base. You got 32 lands. I would go 34 lands. 34 is probably the best area to go when you start. Um, let's see, when it enters the battlefield, scry 1. Okay. There's a Saga, good land. Tap colorless. The more lands I play, the more I'll get stuck on Storm. Okay. Gain, let's see, create a colorless construct artifact creature token with the creature gets +1/+1 for each artifact you control. How many artifacts do you have in the deck? 6? Okay, I can see it. Um, Search your library for an artifact card with mana value 0 or 1. Put it onto the battlefield and shuffle. You have 3 cards that cost 1. Um, that's okay. Ugin's Labyrinth. When Ugin's Labyrinth enters the battlefield, you may exile a colorless card with mana value 7 or greater from your hand. Add colorless mana. If a card is exiled with it, add 2 colorless mana instead. Return the exiled card to its owner's hand. Okay, I see where that's a good one. I just think there's better payoff that costs 2 that adds 2. Like the lands that I have in mind um were 2. um you've got that's why I put the Scry Surveil lands. um You've got Shrine of Forsaken Gods, which tap to add 2. Spend this mana to only to cast colorless spells. Activate only if you control 7 or more. Well, yours is a red deck, so red and colorless. So although you do have a lot more, a lot of colorless stuff, I would never get to 7 mana. Mm, yeah, you're right. You are completely right on that. Let's see. What other lands did I have in here? I have Ugin, colorless spells cost 7 or cost 2 less. Search your library for a colorless creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Eldrazi Temple. Spend this only to cast colorless Eldrazi or activate abilities of colorless Eldrazi. Um, okay, an Ancient Tomb. Add 2 colorless. have Eldrazi Temple, Forgotten Cave. I don't like the lands that enter tapped. I think it's a wasted effort to put those in. I have Ugin is only Eldrazi, but I do have the temple. Yeah, I noticed that as well. So yeah, let me start back down here. Enters the battlefield, scry 1. Add 1 mana of any color among legendary creature cards in your graveyard. Okay. Enters the battlefield up to 1 target creature phases out. I have never seen that land before. Huh. Add 1 mana of any color. Um, put Talon Gates of Madara from your hand onto the battlefield. Okay, not bad. The hideaway lands are real fun lands to play. When they enter, a land enters, or this land enters the battlefield tapped. When it does, look at the top 4 cards of your library, exile 1 face down. Tap lands are for turn 1 play. If you think they're that big a downside, in moderation, yeah, I usually look for the best lands that I can instead of getting the tapped lands, because there are a lot more good lands that enter that don't tap than there are that do. Um, let's see. Target legendary creature gains first strike until end of turn. Shinka is pretty good. Sanctum of Ugin. Whenever you cast a colorless spell with converted mana cost 7 or greater, you may sack Sanctum of Ugin. If you do, search your library for a colorless creature, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Yeah, that's a good land. Rumble Arena enters scry 1. Add 1 mana of any color. Myriad Landscape. Sacrifice. Search your library for up to 2 basic lands that share a land type, but put them onto the battlefield tapped. Inventor's Fair, that's for artifacts. Let's see. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 3 or more artifacts, you gain 1 life. Search your library for an artifact, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. Activate this ability only if you control 3 or more artifacts. I'm still here, gonna drive somewhere. I'll let you know when I'm safe. Okay, thank you. Hidden Grotto, Surveil, look at the top card of your library. You may put it into your graveyard. I don't like Surveil. The only reason why I would ever run Surveil is if I'm doing a graveyard recursion deck, because it helps me do tricks from the graveyard. Um, I mean, I understand why people like it. It helps sift through your deck sometimes, but I think there are way better ways to do that. Gallifrey Council Chamber enters the battlefield. Surveil 1. Add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast a Time Lord okay, you're not using it for that. You're using it colorlessly. Forgotten Cave, Drowsy Temple. Add 2 mana. You built Storm decks before, right? I have. Um, I actually built a blue-red Storm deck with Stella Lee. Um, pretty good deck. I just there's a lot of lands in here that I don't see any. Uh, it's bigger pay for what the payoff is. But I haven't read all the other cards yet, so I'm not gonna judge that too harshly. So there might be cards in the deck that actually work well with that. So um, I never know. Scry 1. See, Surveil 1. Cavern of Souls is good. Are all the cards in your deck the same creature type? Um, or most? Battlefield tapped unless you control a mountain. Do, is Valkut counted as a bracket 4? I don't know. Cavern is just one thing I really need. Okay. Um, is Valkut the Molten Pinnacle a bracket 4 or what? Because that might actually be a good land to put in here too, just to resolve one spell. Is not bracket 4. Okay. Yeah, Valkud actually would kind of work in here, I think. Let me double check real quick. I think I might be Molten Pinnacle. Let me double check and see what its wording is first. Um, and you've got a lot of lands in here, or a lot of mountains. I mean, enters battlefield under your control. If you do control at least five other mountains, you may have it deal 3 damage to target creature or player. I just don't like that it enters tapped though. That's the problem. Like tapped lands to me kind of are. I don't think there's a universe where I have 5 other mountains. Yeah, you're right. I think that's a fair thing right there. You must play fast magic too, as well. Impact Tremors is good. One Ring, Soul Ring, Skull Clamp, good. Um, Semblance Anvil enters the battlefield. You may exile a non-land card from your hand. Spells you cast that share a card type with the exiled card cost 2 less to cast. Okay. Helm of Awakening's good. Spells cost 1 less to cast. The only problem I have with the Helm of Awakening, it helps your opponents too. Um, so it's good. Don't get me wrong, but it does help your opponents cast their stuff as well. Cloud Key spells you play of the chosen type, and this right here. Thank you, Dreamers. Yeah, my deck casts more spells than one opponent casts 2 spells a turn. Okay. Um, comes into play because in my play group we play fast magic and certain things like that it wouldn't really work real well. But also, when people build decks, you got to consider your play group and all that too. When you play in your pod or your play group yourself, it does you have to tend to build around them as well. Um, to compete against them. Um, let's see. Sundering Eruption, destroy target land. Its controller may search their library for a basic land. Put it onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. Creatures with flying can't block this turn. Sundering Eruption, I feel, is kind of a one of those things that in my pod we don't play. We don't play land destruction or mill or poison counters in our play group, but that's just us. Now, I'm not saying it's something bad to put because that does help with creatures who have flying uh, or who don't have flying. Sundering, I can use on own land too. You don't play fun. We play fun. We just don't play boring fun. Jessica's Will's good. I love Jessica's Will. It's a really good opening card too. Empty the Warrens, a good storm card right there. Um, okay, so I've gone through the sorceries. Where are the instants? I don't see any instants. Which normally with a storm player, I would think you'd play more instants in the deck that have a lot of good big payout. Um, the Anger, Anti-Causal Vestige. When it leaves the battlefield, draw a card. Then you may put. This is a creature storm. Okay, which is a valid commander style. I've seen creature storm decks pop off pretty well actually, and most of the time they're red decks. Unfortunately, most of those red decks that I play against with storm are Krenko players. Let's see. Got Warp 4. I like the warp ability. I'm glad they did something like that. That's fun. Draw a card, then you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand on the battlefield tapped. That's actually pretty good. Um, you may return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. Atsushi, whenever it dies, exile the top 2 cards of your library, uh, and you may play those cards. Create 3 treasure tokens. I like Burgi. That's a good one. Whenever you cast a spell, uh, and you don't lose mana. Let's see, creatures you control can boast twice. Um, discard a card, exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. Okay. Whenever another non-token artifact, creature, or vehicle enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Whenever that dies, add 3 colorless mana. Enters, you gain 2 life. It leaves, draw a card. It leaves the battlefield, you draw 2 cards, and each opponent draws a card. That, granted, I love Fox cards in Magic. I really wish Foxes would have more support, because I would definitely love to build a Fox deck myself. There's just not enough support for Foxes that actually work real well. Um, I don't like allowing other people to do things. Um, but again, I'm sure that there's a way that you have it so you don't really help your opponents very well. The only time I've made it to the place, okay, thank you for letting me know that. The only time I've ever built a deck that helps other people is also hurting them, and it was Miss Bumbleflower. Clone Shell, when it enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library, exile 1 face down, then put the rest at the bottom of your library in any order. When Clone Shell dies, turn the exiled card face up. If it's a creature card, put it onto the battlefield under your control. That's actually pretty good. For 5 mana, if you get a 10 cost creature like Kozilek the Butcher of Truth, you can put that in for just 5 mana, basically. Cold Stroker, when it enters, if you cast it from your hand, it add 3 mana. You sack an artifact, put a 1/1 counter on it. Devilish Valet, really good card if you're playing red green, because you can make him pretty tough. Whenever another creature you control enters, double its power until end of turn. Enters, put 3/0/1 colorless spawn tokens in play. Whenever you sack a non-token permanent, exile the top card of your library during your turn. As long as you sacrificed a non-token permanent this turn, you may play cards exiled with this card. Sack a land, add 2 red. Filigree Familiar. It enters, gain 2, dies, draw a card. Okay, so I see the artifact. When an artifact goes to the graveyard, thing through it. So okay, Foundry Inspector. Artifact spells cost 1 less. Friendly Teddy. When it dies, each player draws a card. Uh, okay. Yeah, I would not use that one in my opinion. Glaring Fresh Raker, good. Um, when this creature enters the battlefield, you may put a name sticker on it, add 1 red for each unique vowel on that sticker. Vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and Y. The Hideous Taskmaster. You cast this spell for each opponent, gain control of target creature. What I like to do whenever I gain control of a creature, I sacrifice those creatures for my own benefit. Um, Hero Recruiter's really good. Enters the battlefield, search your library for a creature with power 2 or less, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle. Whoever's familiar, historic spells cost 1 less. Okay. Diver, return another artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Um, you can emerge your opponent's creatures to pay for your own with the Taskmaster. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention to that. Thank you. Let's see, Kozilek, yes. When you cast the spell up to one target player, each manifests two cards from their hands. For each card manifested this way, you draw a card. Other colorless spells you control get +3/+2. Like the Kozilek's. When it dies, reveal the top card of your library. You may put that card on the battlefield if it's a permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less. Otherwise, put that card into your hand. Gatekeeper, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, deals 1 damage to each opponent. Mirror Retriever, I like Mirror Retriever. I used to have a combo with that. Many cantrips creatures. Yeah, I see that. So far, it looks good. There's a lot of stuff that I wouldn't put in there myself, but I see what you're doing with it. Um, at the beginning of your post-combat main phase, add uh, red for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn. If a red source you control would deal damage to an opponent, or deal an amount of non-combat damage less than O'Hare's power to an opponent, that source deals equal to its power instead. That right there is really good with impact tremors. I really like that card. I need to put that in goblins. Because that's mean. Oliphant, whenever it attacks another target creature you control, gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn. Mountain cycling, Pinnacle Monk, prowess. I see the prowess. Okay. Um, whenever it enters the battlefield, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. Priest of Irabrask enters the battlefield. Add 3 red mana. Perforos is really good. Let's see. Perforos, as long as your devotion is red to red is less than 5, Perforos isn't a creature. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, Perforos deals 2 damage to each opponent. And if you have O'Hare out, it would deal 4. Creatures you control get +1/+0. Quicksmith Genius, whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless robot artifact creature token. A Ninja Turtle card. Creature tokens you control gain haste until end of turn. Roaming Throne, good, okay. Ruin Grinder dies. Each player may discard their hand and draw 7 cards. Dies. Each player draws a card. Whenever it enters the battlefield, choose an opponent. If that player has more cards in hand than you, draw cards equal to the difference. I have never seen this card before. Oh, it costs 7 for a 4/4. That's why. Scrap Trawler. Whenever an opponent, Scrap Trawler or another artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return to your hand target artifact card in your graveyard with lesser mana value. Skittering Persecutor or Precursor. Whenever you sack a non-token permanent, create a Eldrazi spawn. Got an ad coming or add on. Die Scanner enters battlefield, draw card. Slash. Whenever another creature you control enters, slash deals 2 damage to each opponent. Whenever slash attacks creatures, or create a 2/2 red mutant creature token. Golem Simulacrum is a really good one. Whenever another creature you control dies, it deals damage equal to its power to target player or planeswalker. Storm scale, other dragons you control. Okay, it's got Storm, Terror of the Peaks. Spells your opponents cast. That target Terror of the Peaks costs another 3 life to cast. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, deals damage equal to the creature's power. Reasonous Ogre, pay 3 life. Add a red mana. Whenever this dies, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. This deck is pretty hard to play. I think you noticed. Yeah, I did notice. Like I said, there's a lot of cards in here that I would not play myself, um, because it just helps other people. Um, and I feel like there's a lot of other things that you can use. I do like uh the impact tremors abilities that you have in here. Witty Roastmaster, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. Workshop Assistant dies and return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Um, what I would do with that, per se, um, let's see. I don't really build a lot of a lot of um eggs on top right. Group types and tags. Can you visual spoilers too? Okay. You visual spoilers. Group types. Which group type do you want? You type in, oh, type in tags. Okay. Cantrips 24, card draw 2, cost reduction 5, haste, ramp, removal, rituals, storm card draw. All right, Bergie, storm mana, tutor, win cons. Yeah, these are good. These right here, I would keep. Um, the tutors are mostly good. I just don't like sacrificing my lands for certain things because I could do something else. Storm mana, really good storm mana. Um, let's see, storm card draw. The land only can set on turn. I go for the win. Okay, I get it now. Um, rituals. Like this one right here, I see why you have him in there because it helps with storm count. But I wouldn't use him. Um, because you can use other things like Soul Ring or things like that are constant um uh mana producers. Um, but you can use a good. All the rituals are mana positive, but yeah, that one is my worst. Um, and I like the ones where they enter the battlefield because you can sack them after they're done and bring them back with other things. What was that other thing that you can bring a creature back from your graveyard at each? one of your turns. Let's see. Oh, there's Soul Ring. Okay, I didn't see that at first. Oh, yes, I did. Never mind. I like Solemn Simulacrum. That's one of the best of those. When it enters, you can search your library for a basic land, and when it dies, you can draw. So ETB and die is kind of the same. Um, yes, but it's there's certain things that will go with each other. Like ETB has their own thing. Dying triggers. They're if you have a way to bring those dying triggers or the dying creatures back, they have more payout. Um, let's see. Oh, by the way, you can declare the spell and use mana from the death trigger from Emerge. Okay. I've never used Emerge, so I don't really know much about it. Um, whenever this dies, return an artifact. What you could do with this is when this dies, return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. When this dies, return another target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. You can take Kark Clan Ironworks and sacrifice an artifact. Add, I think, 2 mana to your mana pool. Sacrifice Mirror Retriever. Um, have this one come back, and then do it again with this. Yeah, that's my loop in this deck. Yeah, I see. Um, but intentionally don't have more for now. Let's see. Um, yeah, that one I don't like, mainly because it helps your opponent. Anything that helps your opponents, in my opinion, I think I would scrap to get something that has a better payoff. Um, let's see, Airgast. And the good thing about this is with this in here, you can look at um, let's see, heals. Where is Spellslinger? Hexing Squelcher is pretty good for your deck. Um, let's see. If you go to the Storm category, that's all people that copied after me. I was the first and did a YouTube video. Oh, really? Okay. Let's see. Storm. Okay. This one right here would go pretty good in your deck too. When you cast a spell, if an opponent amount of mana spent was greater, that'd get a +1/+1 counter. Because then he could build up pretty good, pretty good. Um, Hedron Crawler's a good one. Ornithopter of Paradise, Iron Mirror, the Game Changers. Those are you're doing bracket 3, so we're not going to worry about the Game Changers. Um, okay, this is pretty good. You can, but it costs 4 mana for a 3/2. Uh, that actually works. All of the tap to add creatures are slow on the storm though turn though. Um, on the storm turn, it's good to build up. Like when you start the game, and if they're in your hand at the beginning, they're really good. And that's basically why I run those. Um, because with those, it's kind of like a uh, get your deck going. Um, Crime novelist though, whenever you sack an artifact, because you're sacrificing a lot of artifacts. Uh, at the start, you're trying to put a lot of the stuff like Perforos and stuff like that in there. I see with a lot of the high cost creatures and stuff. Um, it seems like you're building up for those for that. But yeah, this right here, you can put you put a 1/1 counter on it, and you add a red mana, so that's a good one. Um, let's see. Enters, you gain 2 life. Leaves, you the battlefield, draw a card. So Circuit Mender, 3 drop for 2/3. That's good. Um, yeah, there's quite a bit of stuff that you could probably add in there that work real well. Tanook's pretty good too. Other creatures you control have haste. Artifact cards and red cards you control have in your hand have warp two and a red. Um, so you can get all your big stuff out with just 3 mana. But your big stuff's colorless, so so it probably wouldn't work very well. Let's see. Also, there's a combo with Twin Flame and um, Dualcaster Mage. You're making a copy, and you do infinite copies of Dualcaster Mage if you like infinite combos in your deck. Um, but other than that, so far I like the idea. It's just very certain things like Friendly Teddy and what was it? Like I would replace Friendly Teddy with Prime Novelist, um, and then find another artifact. Um, Also, is already in the deck. I didn't see Crime Novelist in here, did I? Where that would be under Ramp. Okay. Oh, okay. No, yeah. Storm Mina. I get it now. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Okay, never mind. Um, yeah, this right here. Sack an artifact, add 2 mana to your mana pool. Really good for the and then also Ashnod's Altar, add 2 mana. That right there goes real well with this combo right here. So that's a lot of sacrificing and a lot of mana that you're building up. Plus, with the sacrificing, you're getting a lot with that as well. Um, and with Junk Diver, um, and you're getting death triggers and stuff like that. And the what's it called? The Impact Tremors abilities. So yeah, I see the potential in this deck though. All right. I do need to get back to making Ulalek though. I'm at, and the lands you think there is one that are better. In my opinion, utility lands. Let's see. The Urza's lands. You've got a lot of artifacts in there. That those Urza lands are good. Um, let's see. Um, okay. Thespian stage. You can make that can be a copy of a land you control that does stuff like Inventor's Fair. Although no, I wouldn't do that one. Let's see. I don't see the good lands in here that work real well. Temple of the False God's good, but it's slow if you don't have 5 mana. Rogue's Passage is good, that helps unblockable creatures, but I don't think you're going to be attacking with the. It doesn't look like your deck attacks at all. Um, so I wouldn't really worry about it. Lands. All right, so thinking. Did I take anger out? I like, well, if you're not attacking, I would take it out because it doesn't seem like you're attacking as much. It seems like on in your deck you're using a lot of burn more than you're doing attacking. But if I'm not seeing the right thing and you are attacking, then I would keep anger in. But if you do take it out, replace it with either Ashnod's Altar or Quark Clan Ironworks. And Helm of Awakening, I would take that out just because it's helping other people and replace it with one of the others. However, it is still a good card to. It does help you. It does remove or make your spells cost 1 less, and that actually helps because it makes all your spells cost 1 less, not just historic or artifact or things like that. Um, but if there's another thing that I would take out, it'd probably be that because it does help your opponents. Um, Same with some of these. Like I don't want to help my opponents draw cards because that could help win the game. Um, for them, they could draw their game-ending winner right there if you allow it. Um, Granted, they could do that anyway, but still, it progresses the helps the process go faster. Um, let's see. Or ruined servitor. When it dies, each player draws a card. I'm sure there are other better cards out there that would be better than ruined servitor. Um, let's see. If we can look at artifacts. Um, when you cast a colorless spell, create a 1/1 colorless Eldrazi spawn. Oh, you already have that in there. Never mind. Um, hmm. Okay, let's. What else can be added? Um, hmm. Instant. That's. Hmm. Also, if you want to, well, no, that I forgot that that costs two. Ugin costs six. That's kind of a dumb thing. Maybe instead of anger, enduring courage. Enduring courage. Thanks for letting me know, Caitlin. Whenever another creature you control enters, it gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. When Enduring Courage dies, if it was a creature, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control. It's an enchantment. Oh, okay. The creature enters with a +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Um, Cost 4 mana. Hmm. Wait, utility lands. You both own and control this land and the creature name. Okay, never. Um, yeah, if you're going to attack with your creature's enduring courage would be nice. Let's see. I know there's other things in my head that I cannot think. That's why I use EDH rec because there's so many cards in my head that I can't figure out what the names are, and this helps out. Um, Feldon's a good one if you have artifacts in your graveyard that you want to make another copy of. You can make a copy of a token of an artifact that, or a creature that's in your deck and turn it into an artifact and then sack it. And it costs 3 mana for a 2/3. You can make a copy of let's see, create a token that's a copy of target creature card in your graveyard, except it's an artifact in addition to its other types. It gains haste. Sack it at the beginning of the next end step. Um, let's see. So when you make a copy of something, like say you make a copy of um you can make a copy of matter reshaper, and its die trigger or death trigger. Wait, yeah, you're sacrificing it, so its death trigger does whatever it needs to do. You can make a copy of solemn simulacrum. You can make a copy of any creature with an ETB and death trigger, and you would get both triggers because you're making a copy of it, and then it enters, and then at the beginning of the next end step, you're sacrificing it, so you get that death trigger. So that's really good in your deck if you're doing ETB and death triggers. Um, Also, if you end up discarding one of your cards that you really needed because someone decided to make you mill or discard a card that you really needed to do, you can make a copy of it all the time. Uh, is there anything else that draws me cards whenever I emerge? Let me reread Emerge. You may cast this spell by sacrificing a creature and paying the emerge cost. Um, so you're going to be sacrificing the creature with the emerge ability and then casting that other creature. You attack, choose odd or even creature. Okay, no. Enters, target opponent may have you draw 3 cards. If the player doesn't, you mill 3 cards. Deals that damage to that player equal to the total mana value of those cards. Cool. Hmm. Whenever an opponent casts an instant or sorcery, no. Cast a colorless spell until end of turn. Skittering Cicada gains trample and gets +X/+X, where X is the spell's mana value. Skittering Cicada could work with if you're going to attack with it, because then you'd get that trigger for its emerge cost, and you're sacrificing a creature. Um, or should I just play Psychosis Crawler? Really does work in this deck, because you are drawing, and there is another card that's similar to it too. Um, no. Uh, let's see. Other cards similar to it, not commanders, not new cards. Um, just because will Magus of the Wheel. I hope it's a banger. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. That whenever an opponent draws a card, that player loses a life. I didn't realize that helped out your opponents, because that's also a Psychosis Crawler type card, and it costs 3. But whenever you draw a card, each opponent loses a life, and its power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards in your hand. Um, whenever an opponent draws a card, that deals 1 damage to them. If an ability of a no. Yeah, the scrolling trawler was the one I was thinking of. Uh, got an ad. Okay. I don't got ads. Spellslinger, no. Most relaxing stream I get to watch. Well, I appreciate that. I like having it being a wholesome creator. Utility lands. Aw, thanks for the roses. Really appreciate you. Um, okay. Go with creatures. Okay, high synergy card. Um, Imagine me giving you a galaxy. Okay, adds over. All right. Um, Thanks for following. Uh, okay. Let's see. Um, yeah, so far, yeah, follow me. Yeah, I really do. Again, thanks for the follow, Aku. I really appreciate you. I appreciate everyone here who has shown up and also who has followed me. Um, oh, stretch. All right. Ah, all right. So, whenever another creature you control dies, it deals damage equal to its power to target player or planeswalker. It costs 7 though. Letting you know I'm gonna head out to head home. Okay. Be careful out there. Um Really bad out. Yeah, it was really bad for me as well. Another stretch. Oh. But yeah, you could play around with this deck a little bit more and do a little bit of other things. Actually, Worm Coil Engine is pretty good too. Um, let's see, and you can do some shenanigans with Kiki Jiki. That right there, create a token that's a copy of target non-legendary creature you control. That token has haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. So you can make copies of other creatures too. I'm gonna sit in my car while it warms up. Is 3 red really hard to emerge? Yeah. I keep forgetting about the emerge ability. Um, it's just not a mechanic that I use very often. Whenever a player taps a basic land for mana, that player adds 1. Okay, that'll help other people. It's not really good. Um, yeah. So, like I said, there's so many other cards here that um that you have in the deck that are pretty good. I've given you a few recommendations, um, but I think certain things in here probably would really um I don't really build red decks or emerge decks that often, and plus with it being a storm deck, I'm not a big storm player myself. Like I built one and I it was good, don't get me wrong. I really enjoyed building it, but I play a lot of like green in my decks, um, and blue because I'm a Simic player myself. But to be honest, I would avoid trying to help other people with drawing cards. Thank you for taking a look. Anytime. And also anyone else, I'll let you get back. Okay. Um, anyone else who has a deck that needs help, um, I'm willing to help out to do anything for anyone for their decks. Like um, you can take my advice with a grain of salt because some of that's my personal preference. Um, but I do love helping people out building decks. How many cards are in my deck so far? Because I do 79. Um, how many creatures are in it? 16. Um, now I will tell you though, five color decks, I have a whale of a time trying to build it because there's way too many cards in a five color deck that I can put in it, and it ends all most of the time it always ends up being five color good stuff. Because it's very hard for me to decipher what's good and what needs to be because I always want to put the counter spells, the kill spells, the board wipes, um, and all of that stuff in there that I kind of just have a hard time. Same with um, the land searches and stuff like that. So it's very hard for me to decipher what's a good pull and what's a good card to put in because it gets to the point where I'm overwhelmed. I typically try to do three color and under. Mm, let's see. Darksteel Monolith is good because I can once each turn I can pay 0 rather than pay the mana for a colorless spell. Um, so yeah, Darksteel Monolith. Um, Monolith. All right. Urza's Incubator creature spells of the chosen type cost 2 less to cast. Um, okay. Urza's Incubator. All right, let's. Hmm. Um, I've already got too many lands in this deck so far. I can't really put any more lands in there that I need. Okay. Because of Eternity, I've already put in there. Did I put Spawn Bed Protector in there? Yes. Okay. I think we should put some land searches in here. However, most of my lands are not specific lands, so let's see. Since Ulalek's command is target player creates X01 colorless spawn tokens. Target player scries X and draws a card. Exile target creature. Okay, Kozilek's command is going in there. Command. There's so much versatility in that, so do that one. Return target non-land permanent you don't control to its owner's hand. When you cast a colorless spell with mana value 7 or greater, you may exile it from your graveyard. When you do, return each non-land permanent you don't control to its owner. How many cards do I have that cost 7 or more? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Throw in some counter spells in here. Mana drain. Deprive. Disallow. And 85. Do I have any cards that you cast a spell? Okay. I don't really have a lot of ETBs there, so no. Removal spells, so we'll do Generous Gift. Resculpt. Beast Within. We're making tokens, so we do need to put in Anointed Procession, Doubling Season, let's see, Heroic Intervention. Like right now, I'm just putting in good stuff for the deck, and it's so hard to build a 5-color deck. The exile a creature with if its power is less than or equal to the revealed card's power. No. Sorceries. I don't have basic lands in my deck. Farseek and Nature's Lure because I do have the original lands, and they count as one of those. Nature's Lure. Sylvan Scrying. Okay, let's see. Help protect my commander. I could put Lightning Greaves. And Swiftfoot Boots in there. Okay. Imprisoned in the Moon, and Darksteel Mutation. Actually, Song of the Dryad. Those make your commander almost useless against me. When this enters the battlefield, create 2 Eldrazi you control have add 1 mana of any color. Whenever you cast a creature spell with mana value 7 or greater, gain 4 life. So Path of Annihilation is pretty good. That helps me with my mana reduction. And I need a good game ender, like a really good big game ender. Um, okay. I've got 98, so let's see. Ulamog. When you cast a spell, target opponent exiles half their library, rounded up. See. Enters the battlefield with a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to the greatest mana value among cards in exile. Has Annihilator X, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on it. I can just put the 2 Ulamogs in there. I was trying to avoid mill, but I need a good game ender. Defiler. And those are good game enders. So yeah, so far this is one of the hardest decks I've ever tried to build. But I got it done. It's oh no, wait, it's 101 cards. I need to take a card out. Let's see. Destroy target permanent. Target player draws 4 cards. Take an extra turn after this. I think I'll take out this one because it's not that much of a good game ender. All right, so yeah, that's basically the deck. I'm sure there's a lot of better decks out there that do a lot more than this, but so far this actually, because with this ability and this ability, I'm exiling someone's library completely. Um, and then I can make I can do that again with Echoes of Eternity and exile half of someone else's library. So that's actually a pretty good game ender for some. Um, but yeah, that's basically the deck. So I hope you all enjoyed this. Um, Aku, I hope you got a little bit more help with your deck. I'm sorry I couldn't help a lot more, um, but I tried doing a little bit more for you. Um, let's see, and we'll go ahead and that we'll look for a raid partner. Um, to to who is online right now? Following. So I kind of went a little above my raid time, but that's fine. Um, see. Untitled is playing Wild Arms 3. So if you'd like to stick around and watch what him play that, we're gonna head over there. Um, I'm gonna unfortunately have to raid and run because I need to grab some food. But I hope you all had a wonderful day watching my stream. Um, and again, if you're interested in any more deck ideas, definitely check out my Discord and go to Shadow Magic and place a picture or a post of what you would like for me to make next. And I'll work on a deck for you on Monday next week. Uh, I am off from streaming tomorrow and Wednesday, but I will be back Thursday to play Star Ocean, the second departure R or second story R. Um, and we'll go ahead and go from there. All right, let's see. Um, my stream for Thursdays and Fridays are at 10 to 2. So if you're in around that time, Central Standard Time, by the way. If you're interested in checking me out, then definitely do so. I will see you all uh, on Thursday. I hope you all have a safe, um, fantastic day. And go ahead and start that raid. If you're interested in checking out all of my other platforms, definitely check out my link tree. Um, the I post daily, letting everyone know what I'm doing and when I go live. So that helps out a little bit too. So you be careful out there. I will see you all next time. Oh.